Hi guys, my name is Roberta and I would like to share some ideas from Christmas Eve in Lithuania, from my home in Surrey. This is a special time for us because we have a newborn baby. He's 3 months old, and he might be actually crying, so he's sleeping in the background, and I will try to be as quick as possible in case he requires some attention. So it is a special time for us, and this is my first time cooking Lithuanian Christmas Eve dishes, and I thought I would like my son to teach Lithuanian traditions, and I thought maybe this is a good way to start with. So here we are, and I'll be using Beatas Nicholson's recipe book, some of the recipes from her book. My husband is American, and he bought that book in English version so that he could learn himself how to cook some Lithuanian dishes. Equally, I think this video would be a good idea for people that experience nostalgia of Christmas Eve in Lithuania, for Lithuanian people that we live abroad perhaps, or perhaps maybe they have spouses that are non-Lithuanian and they would like to share some Lithuanian dishes of Christmas Eve. It is a special time for Lithuanian people, the Christmas Eve. The reason is that Christmas Eve, it used to be a Christmas day in the olden days, in pagan times. The Christmas dishes contrive mainly of fish. It is a meatless dinner, basically, and non-dairy as well. So I will later on I will try to make a beetroot soup as well, but the first part I would like to show you 2 herring dishes that we make in Lithuania. So here we are. So the first dish of herring that I'll be making, it's called So it is called layer herring salad. In Lithuanian translation, it means silke pataluose. So what we need to do is to use 4 herring fillets, and I already cut that up. So this is a herring fillets, and basically I tried to get the herring fillets in Waitrose, but they said they're out of season. So I had to go and get that fish from Polish shop. And we use 2 carrots, and then we use 1 apple, 2 beets. So that's already grated apple, and this is cooked 2 beets, and 2 potatoes that I already have grated as well. Some mayonnaise, so it's about 100 grams of mayonnaise, 3 tablespoons of cooking oil, 1 teaspoon of honey, and you can use some herbs for decoration, so you can use parsley or dill for the garnish. So let's start then. I already cooked the potatoes, the carrots and the beets because I have a newborn, so in case if he needed my attention, I wanted to be quick. So what you need to do, you need to boil and peel potatoes and carrots in a pot of salted water. And you also can actually buy raw beets, but I already bought the cooked beets. So all I did, I just grated them. After you boil the potatoes and carrots, you have to wait until they cool down, and then you grate them separately. And now we will try to heat a splash of oil in a medium-sized pan. So that's the pan. Okay, well, I'll add some olive oil. Okay. Okay. Sorry, I just have two hands, and This is my first time making this video, so I'm not a professional person, so it might look a little bit lousy the way I do things. So right, okay. So we just wait until the pan gets heated, and then we'll add some carrots. So we'll add some carrots. I've got a really good cooker, so the pan should heat fairly quickly. So after the pan is heated, what we're going to do is to add some carrots and season them with salt, and then maybe add a splash of honey. So the honey would be the honey would be about 1 teaspoon of honey. And try to fry them briefly to caramelize the honey as well. And the carrots should be shiny, and then let them cool. So I'm going to add carrots. Okay, so stir them a little bit. And we'll add some honey as well. Here we are. Stir that a little bit. And add some salt as well, a little bit of salt. So once the carrots are caramelized by honey, we will let them cool, and what you need to do is basically cut the herring in pieces, kind of bite-sized pieces that it would work best, whatever works best for you. And after that you have to use an apple, like a whole fresh washed apple, and you grate it. So already, as I showed before, the apple is grated here. And what you would need to do, you have to lay the herring pieces down on the bottom of a herring dish or a similar dish. So unfortunately in Lithuanian we use this beautiful glass herring dishes, but here in the UK we don't have that. So I will just use a simple glass dish like this basically, and I'll layer the herring onto that. So just nicely lay that down on the bottom of the dish. Okay. And I also would like the viewers to share some ideas with me if you know anything, how we could improve Christmas Eve making meals. So this is, as I said, this is my very first time, so it is very exciting time, but I go by the book, but I'm not sure if I'm doing the right thing basically, but I kind of can compare that to how I ate in my childhood when my mother used to make these dishes. So I can see that this is the right components and ingredients that I'm using, but still, it would be nice if you have any tricks or any ideas to share that with me. That would be really great. So the carrots are it's cooking, so I will need them to finish them in a bit. It seems like we already caramelized enough, so I can switch that off. Okay. So I finished laying the herring, and now I'll add the carrot garnish onto the herring and potatoes, and we see that you can also use salt and pepper. In this scenario I'm going to use only pepper because the herring is already salted, so not to risk of basically over salting the herring. So I'll add just my hands got a little bit greasy from the herring, so wash that up, and I will add the carrots now. Okay, so here it is, the carrots on the herring. I'll put a little bit of pepper too. And I'm going to add potatoes. Okay. And just spread the potatoes nicely. And now the next ingredient would be a grated apple. So I'm going to put a grated apple onto it. After this, I need to put some mayonnaise, and they say 100 grams of mayonnaise. Okay, so we're going to put some mayonnaise in it as well. To use the spoon, it will be a little bit quicker than using the whole thing, so just 1 spoon. Sorry about this. Just 1 group. And just spread the mayonnaise all across the dish. Okay, that's great. And the final thing it will be is to add the bits basically. So these are the bits. And then again, just spread it nicely. And finally, we're going to decorate this dish with a sprinkle of dills as well. So I'm going to put some dills in it. Okay, voila. So that's the one herring dish, which is called layered herring dish Stilka pataluose. Now we're moving on to the next dish, and that is called, so let me... The next dish is herring with mushrooms, onions and tomato sauce. Okay, so we'll move to the next one. Okay, here we are. So for this one, again, you can use 6 or 8 fillets of herring, or you can use the whole herring, which would be about 3 or 4. And after that, you use two onions, and already actually cut them in pieces. 2 grated carrots, 100 gram of dried mushrooms. But in this case, actually, I'm going to use marinated mushrooms. And you can, for this dish, you can use any kind of mushrooms. It would, still taste fabulously. Basically, that's what is promising in here in this book. Okay, and after the mushrooms, we will be also using peeled tomatoes. You can use peeled tomatoes, or you can use tomato paste. 1 teaspoon of sugar, so that's a tomato paste. And 1 teaspoon of sugar, cooking oil, salt and pepper, and yeah, and that's it basically. So what we're going to do right now, I already, as I said, that I already prepared this dish, as I want to be as quick as possible before my baby wakes up. So I'm going to heat the pan again and add some onions and try to saute them until they are soft. Yeah, so basically until they are soft. And then after the onions, I'll try to add the carrots and fry it for 5 to 7 minutes. So just a moment, I'll put the pan on with the oil. Okay. And I'm going to add some oil in this pan. Okay. Okay. And now what I'm going to do in a minute, I'll add some onions as well. Okay. So here's the onion. So there are two big onions, and it seems like it's too much really, but I guess once they get soft, they will kind of, you know, look a little bit less. They will, I guess, shrink a little bit. So I need them to soften up a little bit. So just to double check, after the onions, I'll need to put the carrots in and cook them for 5 or 7 minutes, basically. Okay. So. Okay, and so basically after this first video of my novice video, trying, you know, to cook 2 herring dishes, I will attempt to make beetroot soup in my next video, and then after the beetroot soup, I will try to cook a very traditional dish. It's not really a dish, but it's cookies, and they are called kuche. So basically, kuche, it's kind of a cookie that is made of flour and poppy seeds, and with poppy seed milk. So yeah, so just be in tune for my next video, and see. I'll see, you know, if I can actually manage to do that before Christmas Eve, because it seems like this is a really busy time, and I guess for everyone as well, and with, you know, especially with a newborn, and still kind of trying, you know, to get, you know, the last Christmas shopping as well. So onions are cooking. Sorry, excuse my finger. And after the onions, I'll add carrots, and I cook them for 5 to 7 minutes. So just see the time. What's the time now? Right, and after that, what do I need to do after that? Yeah, so I would need to drain, what I need to do is to drain, you know, water from mushrooms, and I can basically use a little colander for that. So let me get a colander. Okay. So drain the mushrooms. I think it's they say to use not too much of mushrooms. It's about, when it comes to mushrooms, it's about 100 grams, but I am a huge lover of mushrooms, and I believe that there is never enough, you know, never too much of mushrooms, basically. So that's my drained mushrooms, and I will add this into my frying pan. There you are. try to reduce the fire. It seems like it's a little too high. And now what we're going to do is add the mushrooms, this glorious, beautiful, delicious, tasty mushrooms. And another thing what I wanted to share, that Christmas Eve actually is a time of tranquility and introspection, and in that evening there is no alcohol, and the family get around the table for the dinner, and after the dinner they might play some games, and especially there are quite a few games for married women to do some tricks. They believe that the Christmas Eve night, it's the shortest night, and that's when the magic happens. So it is a lot of fun associated with Christmas night. So it is a special time, and normally the nuclear family get together, and then the Christmas Day it's more extended family. So it could be cousins, aunts and uncles and grandparents, come into the house, and then that's when we break the fast and we start to eat the meat, and you can drink an alcohol as well. So how our frying dish is doing here, and it seems like it's going quite well here. So okay, and let me see what else we have to do here. So so now what we'll need to do is to add some tomato sauce, and cook until basically the juice dries up. That's what we need to do. So just a moment, I'll try to open the tomato dish, the tomato jar. So how much of tomato we need to use here? So it would be about 400 grams, and this is 425. So yeah, so pretty much all of it I have to use it. So just add the whole thing, just pour it into the pan. Just leave a little bit on the bottom. Okay. And stir the whole thing. Maybe to increase a little bit of fire for the cooking to speed up, because my little one is still sleeping, but he's due to wake up any moment. So I'm trying to be as quick as I can. Okay. Right, okay, so after we finish cooking this garnish, so basically you need to cook until there is no juices, until the juices have evaporated, and somewhat the sauce has thickened as well. And you may want to add a bit of sugar or sharpen the sweet to the sour flavor of the vegetables. So we can add maybe a little bit of sugar as well. And for the sugar, we see 1 teaspoon of sugar. So that's the sugar here. And we'll just get 1 teaspoon of sugar. Okay. So just stir it a little bit. And after that, so once that's finished cooking, we will, so what we need to do is basically put the herring onto the dish. And again, I don't have the special glass dish as we use in Lithuania, so I'm just gonna use the simple dish that's where I make my salad. Okay. And just wash my hands quickly, as the thing is, some people that know what the herring smells like, it's quite an acidy smell. Marinated herring is quite acidy, and it's got some onions as well, and the things can be quite smelly, so it's important to wash them, and they're also quite greasy. Okay, so I added this into the dish, the herring, and let's see how our dish is doing here, the garnish. The juices are still here. It's cooking nicely, and actually it smells delicious as well, and I can't wait to taste it, and for my husband to taste it as well. It will be the very first time for him tasting Lithuanian herring, the way it's been prepared. So it is really exciting, and so far he does love Lithuanian dishes, so I'm not really worried that he may dislike it, so that's good. Okay. So basically, once that's finished cooking, what we are going to do is put the whole garnish onto the herring dish, and that will be it. And if you want, you also can decorate with dill or parsley, if you got a parsley as well. So and that would be it. So let me see. I'll try maybe to keep that video going on until the thing is cooked. But again, if I turn it off prematurely, my apologies. That means that my baby has woken up. So I've got some onions here too, so my apologies again, but it's a little bit untidy. I think it's more or less the garnish has dried up, and I think I'm gonna turn it off. I actually like quite juicy rather than the garnish being dried up, so I'll wait until it cools off, and then I'll pour it onto the herring basically. So to recap quickly what I did for for both dishes. So the first one, that's silke patalose, so basically layered herring. What I use for it, it was it was 4 herring fillets, or you can use 2 whole herring, and then 2 carrots, one apple, 2 beets, 2 potatoes, 100 grams of mayonnaise, 3 tablespoons of cooking oil, 1 teaspoon honey, salt and pepper, and again be careful with salt because the herring is quite salty already. Herbs, so you can use parsley or dill for that. So that's called layered herring salad, silke patalose. And for my second herring dish, I used so my second herring dish was herring with mushrooms, onions and tomato sauce. I used 6 herring fillets, or you can use 3 or 4 whole herrings, 2 onions, 2 carrots, 100 grams of dried mushrooms, but in this case I use marinated mushrooms. And then I use tomato sauce. In here it says that you can use peeled tomatoes, or 1 can of 400 diced peeled tomatoes, 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, but I used just 1 jar of tomato, which was rich enough, and I didn't need to use what they say here. And then I used 1 teaspoon of sugar, cooking oil, salt and pepper. Again, be careful with the salt. And then to finish with, I decorated with a dill. So yes, that's it. And so let's put that onto the herring dish, the whole thing. Yeah, so it slices really nicely. It looks actually really great. And put the dill to decorate with. Okay, so that's finished. So just to show you guys my 2 dishes that I cooked. Yeah, so that's silke patalose, layered herring, and this is mushroom and onion herring. So there are 2 dishes. Okay. Right, okay. So this is it, and it seems like this video actually was pretty long, about 40 minutes, and I'm surprised how my little one is still sleeping, and that's really nice. And I'll try maybe to edit this video if I have some time, but if I don't, my apologies for having a really long video. As I say, this is a very first time trying to vlog, and quite a daunting experience, but I wanted to do this for my own memory, as it's being my first traditional Christmas Eve dinner in the UK. So that's Lithuanian Christmas Eve, and I want to keep up with that tradition, cook the Christmas Eve of Lithuanian dishes every year, so that my sons remember when he grows up, and then he can share that with his own children. So I will try the next time to cook beetroot soup and the cookies with poppy seeds. So stay tuned. Bye bye.